everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today, this lovely Saturday morning, I have a little bit of free time, which is kind of rare. So I am going to spend that free time in my garden, and I have some water that I put some lemon balm and some mint leaves in, and I'm just gonna kind of let that meld, and I'm gonna go through and kind of see where I have some open spots, and I'm gonna fill all of my empty pots with soil, and then I'm gonna go to the worm farm, get some compost, and maybe stop by a nursery, see what they have, and then I'm just gonna start some seeds. So I thought that since I will just be out here kind of by myself, I could bring you guys along and just chit chat with you guys as I have my morning. So hope you guys enjoy. So before I really get going with kind of going to like the worm farm and different things like that, I'm gonna get some of the Swiss chard, because one, the Swiss chard is getting insane and ridiculous, and two, St. Patty's Day is a big holiday for us. And it's not because we're Irish or because we celebrate St. Patty's Day. It's because there is a lot of corned beef and cabbage to be had. And corned beef is one of Mr. Benson's favorite meals, and it's one that I've actually got pretty good at cooking. I cook it in my pressure cooker, my Ninja, which if you guys have seen my video about when I cooked my chicken broth, it's the same machine. So I cook it in there. It only takes about an hour and a half to cook to like total perfection. And I've been growing cabbage because I'm trying to make it to St. Patty's Day. Well, right now there's a huge sale on corned beef because it's the holidays and we want to have more than one corned beef. And I don't have a lot of cabbage, and I only have two that are maybe getting really close to heading up. So I'm gonna do a little experiment, and I'm going to use some Swiss chard along with some cabbage leaves, like some of the outer cabbage leaves, and kind of see what that tastes like. Part of growing a garden to me is really kind of experimenting in the kitchen and seeing what mixes and what doesn't mix, because you want to be able to grow things that grow good in your climate, but you also want to know different ways to use them, because if you only know one way to use them, then you're going to get really sick of them. So I'm going to try this out and kind of see what happens, but first I got to get a lot of the Swiss chard because it's growing pretty crazy. I'll take a picture and show you guys. It's pretty insane. So this bed is a combination of Swiss chard, a little pak choi, and some spinach over there, and then all of this lettuce. So time to get some of that Swiss chard back there. So there's a lot of Swiss chard. I love this little cup, but you have to get the little thing just right, otherwise the straw doesn't connect. So I found this little basket and I thought, how cute will that be for my little small space garden? But then I had to realize that my small space garden produces this much Swiss chard in one cutting, even though I only have 6 plants. So I'm gonna need to get something else, because part of this meal that I'm gonna do today is going to be the Swiss chard and a couple leaves of the cabbage, but then I'm also gonna roast some radishes because I have radishes in here too. So I think that while I get that kind of going, we'll at least get the corned beef going, then I can go to like the worm farm and different things like that. Now guys, I want to point out something, because while I was looking through my Swiss chard and my lettuce, I noticed a couple of like little worms. Not a lot. I actually only found 3 of them in the entire bed. But a lot of people told me, like when I post pictures of my garden, especially on Facebook, they always say, oh, you're gonna want to get out like the bug sprays and the netting and all these different things. And I thought to myself, why would I do that? Because by the time it's this big, I need to eat it, and if there's a worm on it, then I just pick it off and wash it. So I feel like a lot of people aren't eating their gardens fast enough, and maybe that's why they're having so many bug issues. Because my grandma used to always say, which I found it really funny, is that she would she doesn't like a lot of vegetables. Even though she grows a huge garden, she doesn't actually eat that many vegetables. And so she would tell me like, hey, go pick some of my greens, because if you don't pick them, the worms are going to get on them. And I thought, why would you have me go do that? Or why grow so many greens? But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, I love greens, so I can go get them. But it's true, when the vegetable is ready and it's time to grow new leaves for the vegetable, it wants to get rid of all of these old leaves. So it is sending out chemicals for the bugs to go get them. So if the bugs are saying they're ready, then you should know that they're ready. You should take that cue and pick them, because once you pick them, then all the new leaves aren't getting attacked. So don't forget, pick all your vegetables, guys, and don't grow more than what you can kind of really handle, because if you're not going to be eating them constantly, then yeah, you're going to have a bug riddled garden because nothing is really eating it. So don't forget to do that. But you know what also I'm going to try is some celery, because I do have some celery in my garden and I haven't used it at all, and it's getting pretty big. So I'm going to grab a couple stalks of those so that I can add those to the corned beef too. It's because I'm pretty impressed with myself. Look at that. That's some celery right there. I don't have really huge stalks, probably because I need to grow it longer, and also probably because I'm growing it in a very tiny space. So if you have a small space garden, don't wait for things to get super huge, because they're not going to get super huge because they don't have a ton of room just to sprawl out. So they are going to basically do what they need to do, and it's going to be, that's what you get. So my celery, it smells like celery. I don't really like celery, so I don't want to just take a big bite out of it. But I am going to use this with my corned beef. But look at that. Turned out pretty good. I'm pretty impressed, at least. So I'm going to put this in here and go find some radishes too before I fill up all of these pots with dirt. So I got another bowl. I think I'm just going to collect radishes from everywhere in my garden and see how many I can get. We've been eating them with our breakfast in the morning. I like to saute some radishes and put some potatoes with it too as well. So we've been eating them and they've been pretty yummy that way. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to find as many radishes, that's a nice one, as I can, so that this time I'm going to roast them though, I'm not going to saute them. But I also need some room in this garden because look at this one, guys. I want to start putting in some of my winter vegetables, or not my winter, but my spring and summer vegetables. I'm going to go to the worm farm, which you guys will be able to see pictures of later in the video. And it's really cool. They do worm composting at this farm. And my townhome, although I am in the middle of the city, when I bought my townhome when I was 25, so like 10 years ago, I wanted to be on the outskirts of the city because I was like, I need to get a little bit away. I've always been one of those people that I worked a lot in the city. I lived a lot in cities. I lived in New York, LA, all of those for work, and I just really wanted to have a space that was a little bit on the outside. So I got a townhome right next to South Mountain. If any of you guys are from Arizona and you're familiar with Arizona, I live on the base of South Mountain. And on one side of South Mountain, there is a farm, and there's also a big nursery that will also stop by today too. And then there's also a worm farm on the other side, and the worm farm does all the composting and different things like that. So actually, let me pick these radishes and then let's go check them out. So guys, I was just about to leave, and then I remember what I wanted to show you guys. The whole reason why I brought the camera out and started my day. A lot of people had questions for me about my dill plant, and the one that had aphids on it and that I pruned back a lot. As I told everybody, I don't put any type of pesticides or anything like that on my garden because I grow an organic garden. I just, always a motorcycle. But I just prune, and I just basically use water, and I used compost for my soil and fish fertilizer on my soil to kind of keep my soil healthy. But other than that, it's just pruning and blasting everything with with water. So I want to show you guys the dill plant real quick because it is pretty nice. So as you can see, no more aphids, which will go really close, and you can see that anything that's left on there, that's just dirt or dead bodies, but it's huge. It's starting to get big all over again, which I'm pretty excited about because if you guys don't know, I did a dill video that will be out on Sunday, and it'll show you how I preserved my dill, but this is what it's looking like. This is going to be round 2 of dill, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to grab all these veggies. This is pretty heavy, guys. Celery and some cabbage and some Swiss chard, and then also I have my radishes. So I'm gonna grab all these, take them inside, and then get in the car, and we're gonna go to the worm farm. Okay guys, so I'm actually here at the worm farm. It's pretty cool. I like the little mural. I think there's something going on here, so I don't know if they're gonna let me film, but I will find out and let you guys know. But I'm gonna get some compost. So guys, this is the operation. They have compost and worm castings and such going over there. I guess there's a tour and a class going on, so I'm gonna kind of stay out of the way, but they also have seedlings, so I'm gonna go check them out. So I got a little sidetracked because I saw that the farmer's market was open right next door to the Arizona worm farm. So I have my compost, I have my worm castings, and then I'm going to stop by because I also need some eggs. So this is a pretty cool like little family farm that they have a farmer's market twice a week. So I'm going to go in there and see what they got. So it's pretty cool because this is all organically grown. And it's all up here on South Mountain, guys, off of 19th Avenue and Baseline. So we're gonna go in and see what they got. Okay guys, so I'm gonna walk you guys around. I'm a little late to the farmer's market. It's getting ready to close, but I'm gonna get some aloe vera starts because I do not have any aloe vera in my garden. And there's some carrots. I'm gonna pick up some carrots too. Now guys, all of this is grown right here in Arizona. It's actually grown right here in South Mountain. So when I'm looking for things that are grown close to my house, I like to come over to Grandma's farm because it has everything that I need and it's grown literally just down the street from me. So now they even have all different types of eggs. These are goose eggs, and look at how huge these guys are, guys. I'm gonna get some probably duck eggs and chicken eggs, but look at how big that is. And they got loofahs. They had more oranges, but they have all of these oranges, tangerines, and some grapefruits. These look amazing. I might have to get one of these. And then they have some Meyer lemons. And then they have just kind of decorational things too, like some gourds. They have some flowers that are dried. They also have devil's claw. I might get one of those. And then if you want to create some beautiful stuff, they have flowers too as well. And then if you look in the fridge, they have turkey eggs, they have goose eggs, they have duck eggs, chicken eggs, and then more duck eggs too as well. So I'm going to pick up some stuff and I'll see you guys back in the garden. Alright guys, so I have my worm castings that I got from the Arizona worm farm, and then I also have a big bag of compost. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, in all of these areas that I cleared out a little bit earlier, I'm going to remove all the wood chips and then just lay down some compost and some worm castings and kind of mix it up before planting my seeds. Alright guys, so it is now warm and bright outside, so I'm going to say goodbye to you guys for now. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed seeing the AZ Worm Farm and part of Grandma's farm. It's really important that you guys shop local, so make sure that you're supporting your farmers markets and buying products from them because they're taking as much care in producing a product for you as you are producing a product for yourself in your own garden. So support them and shop local. But until then, until next time, guys, make sure you guys are growing yourself a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye.